The conference was really good. I think it had innovative setups. It was not like traditional conference where you sit and some people come and present. It was really nice that we had a setup that we had quite deep discussions about the problem in Global South. And the nice thing was that we had a lot of people, both in academia and practitioners from Global South, that they came here. They discussed about the particular problems that are actually only related to Global South, and it needs to have this lens for addressing these issues.
In our country, we normally believe transport is about vehicles. But out of this, I've learned that it's beyond. When we are talking of a road, we are talking of something, it's for human beings, not only for vehicles alone. As a community leader and a community worker in my country, one of the things that I'm going to also introduce or advocate for majorly is to broaden the scope of our human rights advocacy on transport and mobility for non-motorists.
Okay, in Chile, where I come from, there are a number of inequalities in mobility that are very important. The first of all is gender inequalities. There is a national policies on care, but that has to be tackled from the policy perspective and in actions, and specifically in terms of the access to public transport, but also access to activities. And the most important dimension is regarding care, and basically putting care in the center of policies and in general of all the aspects related to mobility and activities that people perform in daily lives. There's an emerging trend on aging population in the Chilean case. We are the fastest growing country in terms of elderly population, and on top of that is also the relationship with new waves of immigrants who have also different needs and different challenges regarding mobility, especially in large urban areas in the country.
Priorities in tackling transport inequalities in my cities seem to be in the area of policy, but it differs in that there are cases where policies exist, but then they are not operationalized. So where they exist, they should be operationalized so that regulations and guidelines can be provided. And where they don't exist, definitely there is a push for that. I think another priority is really getting infrastructure right in cases where infrastructure exists and is really not either adequate or is not serving the purpose, or sometimes is shared and the sharing really is not working well. And then last but not least is the pressure, the advocacy, the participatory approaches we need and advocacy to achieve the things we've been talking about in this workshop. I think you might say they matter now, but these priorities have always mattered, but countries and cities differ in the way they handle them. So in my case, I think they will matter depending on the context. And in any case, we are almost acknowledging in this workshop that we've not achieved as much as we should. Countries differ, regions differ, but there is a lot still to be done for us to see that inclusivity demonstrated in practice.
Move the focus from smart to caring. And care is an easy word to understand. When we invoke terms like justice, inclusion, maybe in the research field we are able to understand it, but not so much in the world of politics of planning, politics of space. So I'm trying to work with this Caring City framework, which is more than just about care-related trips, which is generally associated with women. And what I have learned from this conference this time is that there are so many good examples available around the globe. We have participants from around the globe here. And those kind of examples could really help us bolster why a caring framework is more important than smart or, very tech-heavy framework. Because it's about including people, it's about uplifting the lives of people and well-being. And that somehow gets lost when you are too obsessed with just tech infrastructure. We have a lot of great lessons emerging from different parts of the world, but we don't know about it because either they are never discussed openly in front of the wider world, or it's hidden in some report and almost never published in research articles, which are easy to find and reference. So we need a place where we can start creating archives of case studies, which we can then show to planners, policymakers, politicians, most importantly, politicians in other parts of the world, that this case worked and these are the positive, outputs out of it. So why don't we try something like this?
Yeah, I think I've got three things that I've particularly learned and I'm really excited to share when I go back and with our work with Walk 21 in our network around the world. The first is thinking about how we're not just engaging people, but the importance of empowering citizens to actually make sure that they feel a sense of ownership and are part of the solution. I think this is really important. The second element, I think, is making sure that we tackle people on low incomes first. We have people with low incomes, whether it's in Manchester here or in Nairobi. It's everywhere in the world. There are people who need our help, and they have the most to gain and the most need. So this is really important. And the third point I'd make is really just thinking about, the outcomes, keeping our eye on what are we trying to achieve. And I think that that's about giving people a better quality of time, better health. And ultimately, as well, making sure that people just have their dignity. That's what this whole event is about, and it's been a real pleasure to be part of it.
What I take away from the conference is a sense of all the creativity, the energy, the passion, and the knowledge that so many researchers and others are bringing to these areas. I mean, here you have all these academics committed to traveling from all over, and we have so many continents represented here, and they're all committed on contributing to research will make a difference to the lives of people who can't make it to these meeting rooms and who are have so many ideas and creativity themselves. So I take from this workshop a lot of energy, and I'm very thankful to the University of Manchester for hosting us.